Section 1 of History of the Jews in Russia and Poland, Volume 3, from the accession of Nicholas II until the present day. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by S.S. Kim, manipulated by Shaw, Portugal. History of the Jews in Russia and Poland, Volume 3, from the accession of Nicholas II until the present day, by Shimon Dubnow, translated by Israel Friedlaender. Chapter 31, The Accession of Nicholas II, Part 1. 1. Continued policy of oppression. In the course of the 19th century, every change of throne in Russia was accompanied by a change of policy. Each new reign formed, at least in its beginning, a contrast to the one which had preceded it. The reigns of Alexander I and Alexander II marked the departure in the direction of liberalism. Those of Nicholas I and Alexander III were returned to the ideas of reaction. In accordance with this historic schedule, Alexander III should have been followed by a sovereign of liberal tendencies. But in this case, the optimistic expectations with which the new ruler was welcomed both by his Russian and his Jewish subjects were doomed to disappointment. The reign of Nicholas II proved the most gloomy and the most reactionary of all. A man of limited intelligence, he attempted to play the role of an unlimited autocrat, fighting in blind rage against the cause of liberty. This reactionary tendency came to light in the very beginning of the new reign. During the first few months after the accession of Nicholas II to the throne, between November 1894 and January 1895, the liberal Zemstvo assemblies of 9 governments, in presenting addresses of loyalty to the new Tsar, were bold enough to voice the hope that he would eventually invite the representatives of these autonomous institutions to participate in the legislative acts of the government. This first timid request for constitutional rights met with a harsh and clumsy rebuff. In his reply to the deputation representing the nobility, the Zemstvos, and the municipalities which appeared in the Winter Palace on January 17, 1895, to convey to him the greetings of the Russian people, the Tsar made the following pronouncement. In several Zemstvo assemblies there have been heard lately the voices of men carried away by preposterous delusions concerning the participation of the representatives of the Zemstvos in the affairs of the inner administration. Let everybody know that I shall guard the principle of autocracy as firmly and uncompromisingly as it was guarded by never-to-be-forgotten deceased parents. This veiled threat was enough to intimidate the faint-hearted constitutionalists. It was universally felt that the autocratic regime was still firmly entrenched, and that the old constitution of enforced safety, this charter of privileges bestowed upon the police to the disadvantage of the people, was still unshaken. The hope of seeing Russia transformed from a state based upon brute force into a body politic resting upon law and order was dashed to the ground. The Jews, too, were quick to realize that the war which had been waged against them by Alexander III for 14 long years was far from being at an end. True, the addresses of welcome presented in 1895 by the Jewish communities of Russia to the young Tsar on the occasion of his marriage elicited an official expression of thanks which was not marked by any rebukes or harboring preposterous delusions. But this was purely for the reason that these addresses were not tainted by any allusions to the hopes for emancipation entertained by the Jews. There was nothing, indeed, which might have warranted such hopes. The same dignitaries who, under Alexander III, had stood forth as the champions of savage anti-Semitic policies remained at the helm of Russia.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?